Okay, recording started. So
Thanks, Ben.
welcome to the second official meeting. So the other two meetings we had were kind of just between the groups as we discussed last first meeting. And we can review those last meetings and kind of see how our proposals are going.
Right. Yeah, welcome. As Tim was not here last time, I wanted to ask first, maybe have you heard something about Arcos? Do you know roughly what it is, how it can help? Or do you want me to give you a short overview?
Well, I've read a little bit about it, so I think I know more or less.
Very good. Then I can maybe share my screen quickly and I could explain roughly what we did last time in the last meeting last week to have you on board on everything. So you should be able to see my screen now. So I will start here on the top again. So I explained it last time. So I created a like an overview of different sources where you can read more about EcoHubs, which is behind the creation of Arcos, with many links about EcoHubs and also a link to EcoHubs to Arcos, to where the blueprint is hosted. So the Arcos blueprint is hosted, and some explained videos and AI podcasts. Then I explained also last time that I used the definitions that Arcos defines and compared it with some documents that I got from Fruithaven. And I ran a compliance test, which turned out that 7.2% are compliant, and the rest is split in half between partially compliant and completely missing. And that's a respected result because Arcos is very strict, and I would expect this result more or less as an average for pretty much every community that is there at the moment. Then I crystallized 5 fundamental gaps. We added 1, so that's why I say here +1 during the meeting, which I will tell you soon what it is. And then we looked at all of these fundamental gaps. So there's the membership states, which are currently not completely clear, not clearly defined. In Fruithaven, there's the role explicitness. The roles should be defined. There are explicit invariants, so things that should never change, that could be defined to help. We have enforceable accountability, govern change and learning, and this one is the +1, fragmentation of Fruithaven. So what does it really mean to be a member of Fruithaven 1, Fruithaven 2, Fruithaven 3? So this clarification could help everyone to understand much better what it means. So then we said, no, then we formed groups. So for the first 2, we looked into these ones more in detail. I explained why they're missing, what's the risk of them being missing. So what can you basically achieve by adding them, making them very clear instead of implicit. And we formed 2 groups, and each group looked into one of these topics and tried to create a proposal. I created documents for each of them that should help guiding in that process of defining a proposal. Additionally, I also created an Arcos suggestion document. By the way, they're all in the same document. They're just different tabs. That created some confusion last time, so maybe that was not a good idea to do it like this. In case you want to change it to make it one large document, go absolutely for it. That's no problem. But here it's at the moment structured like this and linked also accordingly. And yeah, this document is a suggestion document I created as a suggestion from Arcos, how you could define that, what it means to be an owner and at the same time a member, or an ex-member, an exited member maybe, that is still an owner. So how do you deal with all of this? I created this suggestion. And for today, I was thinking we can look at these proposals that were created and see how far we go, how far we get. So the initial plan was to look into them when they are really ready. We could go and have a minimal sociocracy or dynamic governance approach to make a decision if it's good enough to proceed and safe enough to try. This is the heart of sociocracy. So it's not about consensus, where everyone needs to agree and a single objection with "I don't like it" counts. This approach is different in that way, that you can see good enough, that you can say this proposal is really good enough for now to proceed and safe enough to try. And objections need to be going against the vision or purpose of the community. So it needs to be a really good reason. And at the same time, when it's decided to be continued, then the group would decide also about the review date. So at some point you would review it. Nothing is in stone. Nothing needs to be perfect. It's not about perfection in this decision-making process. Okay, so and one more note. Once a proposal passes, then I created also a governance log where you can log all the decisions that were made. This will help you later to create different documents, like to transform these decisions into persisting, longer living documents that are also versioned. But the idea is behind that that you have at some point for example, a membership agreement where everything about membership is in there. You have a purpose document where all your purpose is noted down. And to create these documents, it's really helpful to have a log of decisions you've made so far. So this is what this is for, just as an explanation. Okay, then I think I explained everything so far, what we've done, the idea of today. I would say, shall we look at the proposals you created in the past 2 meetings for us? What do you think? I assume there are some questions. We can go over them, and I can try my best to answer and help.
Well, let me start with saying, like, I like the idea of minimal sociocracy because half of the Fruit Haven owners don't even respond to emails. So I have no idea if they're still interested or not. But we need to continue. We need to progress. And yeah, if we need to wait for everyone to give their approval, then we're getting nowhere.
Exactly. That is also a really valid point. Yeah. So would progress in that way, and if someone has ideas to improve it or concerns, they could be implemented in the next review of that decision. That's great, no? Then people can participate in the governance and improve it. So everyone benefits from the decision at the end. That's correct.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's see what proposals there are then.
Yeah, Boris, are you ready? Are you looking for the documents? If yes, take your time. It's okay, but
Yeah.
I wanted to check.
Well, basically, so yeah, I recorded all those and put the meetings in the group, but we started a copy of that document and basically started adding. So yeah, we agree with the. I think generally it was just me, Nick, Nicholas, and oh, sorry. So there's the applicant and trial member. So we discussed like having. Well, I mentioned like I think of a 6-month trial period. It can include like residency for 3 months or something like that. But anyway, those are just proposals that I had, and then the full member, but that's separate from an owner, non-member owner, suspended member. That could be non-compliant or non-responsive owner, and exited member. So this was our kind of attempt to understand what to do with owners, but now I understand that maybe we don't need anything except for the exited member, and then owners are sort of an attribute that's not related to the membership state. So we need to discuss that with Nick and Robin. And then, so that was the first meeting, so we could go over that.
One thing, I just shared my screen also, so Tim can see what you created. Yeah, just wanted to add that. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, exactly. Maybe even I could do it, but yeah, that's fine. So the applicant, trial member, full member. So we were trying to kind of put some information, like a full member is accepted by the members. Applicant is filled out the questionnaire, and then trial. And then for the, so yeah, maybe we could get rid of, maybe we could discuss it and decide on that. So getting these parts, yeah, you see my highlights. So maybe just make one other state of an exited member that'll kind of encompass everything that, and then the owner is just a separate attribute altogether. Is that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to kind of understand how to do it, and I guess there's questions, like, well, we still want exited members to contribute. So under this one, for example, non-member owner, they still have to contribute to the budgets. They just don't have maybe certain decisions they can't really make, but they just still have to contribute. So that's one thing that we have to make sure it's clear. And then the way they thought they understood the exited member would be is basically someone that's sold or left at their own will, but maybe that's not really what you meant by that, right?
Yeah, you can define it as you need it. So the center of this is that you create a language and an agreement that works and that covers everything you need. So this is the highest goal of all of this. And then you can be creative. So if you say this is what we want, then that's absolutely fine and it's valid. And then you can define that an exited member means you sold your land or you left on your own will and you still have that land. This is fine. That's really good.
But maybe you meant it in a different way. I think that maybe you kind of see the way when you say exited member, you probably kind of encompass all these states, like non-member, owner, suspended member.
Yeah. Sorry, one thing first. So what I would also add there, sold ownership, left at their own will, or enforced to leave. That should also be an option. Then you're also an exited member, because if someone doesn't follow your rules, I think it's fair enough to start an escalation path, which you will also define in the future if we continue. And that would be also important to note here. I think you should never be, you should also be forced to leave while keeping your land, because you cannot force someone to sell the land, I guess.
Right. And yeah, we discussed, like, I guess maybe a different structure would be better, like having the SAS, like the sort of LLC system where the corporation, limited liability corporation, holds the land, and then it's easier to have shares, buy and sell them, and then it's easier to kind of force people out by maybe buying their shares or whatever.
Yeah, beautiful. Sounds good. And yeah, regarding the sorry.
I just wanted quickly, so the exited member is kind of this as well. I think the suspended member maybe is not necessary, this.
Yeah.
And then also,
however
even
you want to define it. Yeah.
I think there are too many states that we don't need right here.
Okay.
I guess maybe we don't need necessarily these, because
Okay. And why would you need an owner? Would need the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
owner.
Makes sense if you want to say, okay, someone did it once, they have still voting, maybe, but they're banned at the moment for a certain amount of time, they don't. Like punishment, say, like temporary including the community. If you want to use it, would be suspended.
Yeah.
You can order to you want to
It depends on people. Like exited, don't have to necessarily like a maybe to go through the process again of saying like maybe this suspend in the number is owner the number be that yeah we don't have anything to do so we the
I would,
all
yeah,
of this
I would, I would definitely remove the owner personal opinion. You can leave them in there if you want to. You're free to do whatever you like. In my opinion, I would make it. I would you can depend on this state. You can be a member and owner. And be an owner. Okay. And you can also be an exit member. Also. So you need to every state the option being so that the can own and owner member. You see what I mean?
that it has nothing
That's why
to
I
do
would make it. Mhm. And that's up to you. How you find the you could say at the end of the last for time this person spend for 6 months. If they don't reply, I don't know what you can define that too. So something like that doesn't happen during the run, then something like this, it could be state on the path later. But if you don't want it for now, that's totally fine. You can review it later, and you can add the suspended member if you feel like it's good. If you think for now you don't need it, leave it away. Keep it simple. That would be my recommendation.
okay. Yeah, that's what I think that we kind of misunderstood. So when they join, I guess we'll discuss that further. In the other tab, that was the next meeting. So we had two. This one we discussed the roles. So let's see, did we switch? Yeah, switch over to the. But I don't know if there's anything else to say, or maybe before we switch, we can ask Tim his thoughts on the.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And also further down, there's more about the states. Did you do any work on that?
Not to my recollection. Let's see.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, okay. I guess. Yeah, we looked at what. Oh no, that's I'm looking at the other document. Let me see. Oh, did we do anything here? No, I don't remember doing anything.
So here, for example, which membership state exists? You did that. What each state can do and what they cannot do. Which states have voting rights? Which states can propose decisions? Which states can hold roles? And which roles? And no individual may hold multiple membership states simultaneously. So it would be really good to write one sentence in that decision proposal as well, that this is not possible. That's a recommendation of Arcos, and no right or obligation may exist outside of any defined membership state. There also should be a sentence in the proposal that you're creating at the end. So yeah, and then it goes more in detail. So what are the rights and obligations? So what can you do? What can you not do per state? What we just listed. And at the end, also about what triggers a transition. So how can you become a full member if you were a trial member before, for example? Or how can you be from an inactive member to an active member? These things. Okay, yeah, but Tim, let us know if you have any questions to what we discussed now with the membership states. Any concerns, questions, something not clear?
Well, I like simple, so I'm happy that you removed a few of these, whatever you call it. But no, someone knocking at the door.
I heard the knock.
Yeah, whatever. But I'm not here. Let's see. So we have the applicant, trial member. That seems to be similar to what we already had, right?
The difference, we never had a trial, like any period, like 6 months. I think that could be important for us to have, seeing certain things in the past. But at the same time, it's kind of like we have to, I guess, work on defining what is Fruit Haven and everything else in the next layers after we get through this, because it's ownership is a separate attribute, so people can still own land but not be a member.
Yeah, and it's also not about creating something new. It's about rethinking what already exists and improving it, adding things or leaving as it is. It's also totally fine. It's not about creating something completely new from scratch. But the fact that you were not done creating this proposal within 15 minutes because everything was perfect shows me already that there were some gaps. So it was not really clear what exists and how it works. So that's the important part of applying Arcos, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We had long discussions about what do we do with members that are not compliant, things like that. So that's why we came up with all these. And our kind of misunderstanding, I guess, like I told Stefan, I skipped one page that was pretty important, that I would have understood better about the owner. Then we wouldn't need these extra states.
Yeah, okay. Then shall we go to the next one, to role explicitness and operational continuity?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had the other meeting here. This is something actually that we kind of understood. So if you scroll down, what roles currently exist. So probably again, we should not include the owner as a role because it's not a role.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll put not a role. And then the others, we've had these in various stages, and especially more in the earlier years when I was here. So there was you said communal finance something, but I put it as accountant, so I know it is. If that makes to me it makes sense. As an accountant, maybe a manager of a community area, hospitality, nursery projects, project management, volunteer coordinator. So we have the social media manager, maybe multiple, and meetings organizer, facilitator. Some we do take these roles at various periods, and we kind of share these roles in some cases, like maybe a few different people might organize or facilitate or post on social media. And then the next section, we Rob made this table. So again, the full member owner. So our misunderstanding of that aspect, ensuring the community. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's still good practice to understand what are the purposes. So it's kind of maybe seeing as an investment, the continuity. But anyway, then for non-member owner, and yeah, so some things we have some definition, and we thought maybe it would make sense to have a term length of, let's say, 12 months and renew for next year.
Really good.
So,
And
but
did you define any handover rules or here's selection? Oh no, sorry, I'm wrong here. Each role defined purpose, authority, limits, term length, and selection. I thought there was also a.
Maybe I missed one.
I thought there was also like the handover. Handover rules. But yeah, it's not so important. It's okay.
If you look down, it says what is the handover process.
Ah, yeah, so I didn't see that. I checked on the required. Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
awesome.
Documentation, but we didn't. Well, we didn't do that. You put it in there, but I don't think we got to that part yet, really.
Okay, that's also fine. Okay, perfect. Yeah, really good. Really good work. I'm proud of you guys. I think you did a good job. Yeah, in both things. You really got into this and you thought about it, and I think it's great. And it doesn't need to be perfect either. It's absolutely okay. So actually, we could already transform these two things into proposals. So to actual proposals that we could add here. Let me click on this link if it works. Yes, it does. No, we only add the ones that are accepted. Okay, no, we cannot do this now. I think we're too few people, maybe. No, maybe we should wait for next time. I don't know what you think, guys.
Yeah, we can probably wait, I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. But we could use the time if you want to define a few missing things. Like here, we said the member obligations. And what was it else? There was something else. Here. A sentence that says must have clearly defined rights and obligation. This one. Hold multiple, like no individual may hold multiple membership states simultaneously. If you want, we can make this part of the proposal itself. So we could, let me create this quick template for what is the end result, and then we can refine it, okay? So I would add here a table, and we say on the new page, maybe even here, proposal. And here we add in the membership states. It's clear that it's a proposal, and the numbers are not right. Not sure why. 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe we can don't want to be too precise here now, but oops. Yeah, let's leave it like this. It's fine. And then, so what's missing to be compliant would be, so which membership state exists? We have that. What can each member state do? What can they do? So this is still missing. So we can maybe take that here. Okay, what can they do? The state would here be applicants. That would be trial member. That would be full member. Oops. And we have the exited member. So this still needs to be done. So what can they vote? Can they propose? So I'm assuming here no, no. but you can still change it if you want. Can they hold any roles? That's interesting. I don't know. Maybe accountant. Accounting could be external, but I leave it empty for now. Trial member maybe the same. No. No. Full member. Yes. And yes. And yeah, can hold roles. Yes. And exited member? Probably no. No. And no. Or maybe yes. Not sure. Things like accountant or maybe caring about plans. You could maybe also do as an exited member. Not sure. You can decide, but you could list here the roles that are accepted. Here you could say yes, all, or any. Maybe not all at the same time, but yeah. Okay, then next thing would be no individual may hold multiple membership states simultaneously. This we could make just part of this proposal. So this counts for you if you want to accept it. I'm not telling you what you have to do, so it's all up to you still. I will mention this many times, so you're very free. But my recommendation would be this: to make things very clear. So you can be not an applicant and a trial member at the same time. You can also not be an exited member and a full member, which makes also sense. And you cannot be a full member and a trial member. So this should be just defined just as a sentence. So you can point on this if someone says, yeah, but I'm applying here, but I still want to vote. And then you can say, no, you cannot be a full member with voting rights and an applicant. That doesn't make sense. Okay. So just to make things very explicit. Then, any questions so far?
Yeah.
I'm talking a lot, so I want to give you the chance
to. Looks like Nick just came, but he said he didn't have internet up there.
Okay. Okay.
So
no
we're
problem.
working on this. I guess we have a few more minutes.
Okay, perfect.
I can do the video. There's the
And
video.
yeah, we can do the same with this.
So I guess I'll catch Nick up.
Did you catch him?
Did I catch him?
Nah, I'm just joking.
So yeah, I'll catch Nick up. Basically, the owner is an attribute. It's not a role. So the role membership, or rather, it's not a role and it's not a membership state either. It's basically just an attribute. That's kind of what we've been reviewing. Looks like only Tim joined. Rob didn't join, and no one else did.
Sorry? You were
Tim
cut?
is in the house, yeah. I think I muted for a second there, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, show us the table. Maybe I'll go on the document.
So, okay.
He's working on this one. So now,
Hey, can you share that document in the Fruithaven mail so I can actually open it on my laptop, maybe?
even what? Pin it in the chat.
Yeah, it's a bit small in the chat, this document.
Do you see it? I pinned it in the chat so you can open the document now, Tim.
Okay, let's see. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I should read it, I guess.
So yeah, I'm just working on this proposal now to complete it or to figure out what's missing. That's what I'm doing, applications for each state. So here again, we have these. And yeah, for Nick, I just created this proposal. So this would be the end result of the proposal that you could present at the end. And I'm just taking what you already defined here, and I'm adding additional things that are still missing, that still need to be defined. So this needs to be done. What's missing? What triggers state transitions? Is transcend the right English word for making a transition? I'm not sure.
Yeah, like what, consensus?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, wait a second.
I think it could become exited or trial. Maybe we can put someone from a full back to a trial.
From
Or I
a full
guess,
member to a trial member, really? Okay, they don't need to apply again?
oh yeah, maybe they would have to reapply. I don't know. Yeah, good question.
The trial.
I guess they could either go directly to trial or to applicant. Or maybe they just go
But
applicant.
first
Yeah,
they
I
need
don't know.
to. But first they need to be exited, no? Always for both cases. That's what I would assume. So you could say, okay, an exited member could become an applicant, or they become a trial member again.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe like this.
Yeah.
What I would propose. So full member can only become an exited member. You cannot go directly back to applicants because you are already a full member. So why would you apply?
Right.
You cannot go to a trial member because why would you become a trial member suddenly? But you can be exited, and when you are exited, you could become an applicant or a trial member, and you can decide. Maybe only one of them makes sense. I'm not sure. That's up to you.
Yeah, good point. Maybe we'll have another meeting at some point. With more clarity.
Yeah, sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, maybe we'll have to meet about it again at some point, but
okay.
It's a good...
Then what would be good enough for now? Like to make it to like this? So you can, as an exited member, you can only be an applicant. I think that would simplify things, no?
Yeah, makes sense to me. Any thoughts, Tim, Nick?
Yeah, if someone has better ideas or something, please let us know. I'm not defining here by myself. I'm just trying to.
For now, it's fine.
I was just thinking for that going back there, exited member, makes sense for them to go to trial.
Okay.
because we can consider it like a probation or something, like because there's like a reason why they exited.
Mhm.
So then, okay. Well, in that case, a trial member can also become exited.
Ah,
This is
no, but
something's not worked out. We tell them like you need to
Like say they,
reapply.
let's say they weren't approved after the trial, then where do they go? They become exited, I guess.
But then they're external, I think. I think there's a difference between an exited member, which was once a member, and someone
Uh,
that is just outside of everything. So that would maybe also make sense. I wrote it in one chat message. You could, it's just an idea, add here external.
uh-huh.
So then you can maybe also hold roles as an external person that has nothing to do. Like, for example, working for you for money. So you paid person, a worker, or an accountant is also like you could outsource the accounting, and here you would make that clear that an external person can do your accounting, for example, but they can never do like governance facilitation, for example. Yeah, or yes, maybe, yeah. Maybe also,
Maybe.
but it's just an idea. You can decide what you would like.
Yeah, I like it. Keep it there.
Yeah. Okay. External.
What do you think? Because basically, it's anyone that hasn't applied and may not even want to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. So an applicant could become an external, and also a trial member could become an external, but they could never be an exited member.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my understanding. I don't know if you agree. If you want it.
Unless it becomes like a loop where somebody's like exited, then they go into an applicant and then a trial, and then they go back to being exited.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It could be. Why not? If you exit someone or they decide to exit, then they could be a trial member again. They could be a full member again, and then they could exit again.
Yeah.
That could be the loop. Like you could be there, but you cannot. Once you are a full member, you can never be an external person because you will be always an exited member. Maybe
Okay.
that would be the idea, but not sure if you agree.
Well, let's not create a loophole.
Yeah.
Never-ending loop.
Okay. Yeah, as an external, you can definitely be an applicant. But to be a trial member, you need to be an applicant. To be a full member, you need to be a trial member. To be an exited member, you need to be first a full member. That makes sense, no?
Okay.
And exited member cannot become an external member.
Mhm.
I mean, external member, not external person. So how to transcend, like you have an online application form, no?
Yeah.
Or in person, also possible?
Uh,
Written
in our
down
case,
or?
in our case, we don't have that option, but I think Terra Frutis
Okay.
used to do that because I think there's so
Yeah.
many people that are in so many different places that we want it online, basically.
Okay. So even if someone visits you and says like, "Wow, I want to become a member," you would send them the link to the form, right? Then
Yeah,
this is
we give them Wi-Fi and tell them fill out the yeah.
good. Okay, good. Yeah, perfect. Then how do you transcend from an applicant to a trial member? So when once accepted by full members.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, I think online,
Yeah.
basically email or whatever.
Okay, online, like all members, or is it like just a majority, or does everyone need to agree? How does it work currently for you, or you still need to define this? It's also an option.
We used to basically, if no one disagrees, I think that was the
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that's okay. You can leave it for now. Once accepted by full members, everyone gets informed via email, and if no one disagrees within a certain time frame.
Oh, really? I thought this was like in the applicant section, but okay, whatever. There.
Oh, okay, I see. What you mean. Oh, because they are a trial. Well, oh yeah, the
Ah,
other thing that I mentioned in the other, yeah,
okay.
this would
So
probably
here,
be for the trial. Yeah.
okay. Okay, good. I was also
So
wrong.
the,
I was also thinking about the applicant actually. Yeah. Okay, so
uh,
that makes more sense. So once accepted by full members, everyone gets informed by email, and if no one disagrees within, do you have a time frame? 10 days
yeah,
or
it's
14
been
days?
2 weeks, but we
2
could
weeks. Okay.
probably keep it 7 days. Yeah.
You want to do it 7 days?
You
You want to
couldn't.
make the decision now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think? 7 days is enough?
Well, look, the period could be 14 days, but we can accept them before 14
Oh,
days.
okay.
You know, let's say we have sufficient thumbs up. You know,
Okay.
there's like 4 or 5 people thumbs up.
There's no red flags usually. That's what we look for.
And I would maybe also add they really become full trial members once they arrive on Foodhaven land. How would you call that?
Oh, like yeah, this is something we discussed in the
That would be new.
meeting, so we didn't have that. Yeah.
We said 6
Resident.
months.
Yeah, there was a thing where it said, yeah, I said like, well, let's looking at other communities, they do 6 months of living there, but maybe for some people it's hard, and maybe we can do 3 months of living there, but 6 months of, say, online kind of communication.
Maybe cumulative, we
Yeah.
can say.
Oh yeah,
But, like,
cumulative.
You
Exactly.
see, like your point was that problems start coming up in a period of 2 to 3 months,
Right. Could be.
right? So
we would see the
so it has to be consecutive. But you know, Rob was saying that that's a hard thing to do, right? For
Yeah.
some people to come and stay for a full 3 months, like Yele does that.
Mhm. Right, and it doesn't have to be consecutive, so it could be like 1 month for 1 year. Next year, after 3 years, you become a member.
But if it's not consecutive,
No, it doesn't
How?
have to be consecutive. That's the point.
Okay.
but wasn't
You're
your point
talking
that
already
after
about the transition from trial member to full member?
Yeah, but
Sorry,
it doesn't.
interrupt.
I don't think it
Goes-
has to be consecutive. Go ahead.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Anyway, but those we could discuss and think about more, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe put that this has to be refined of the details of how long and the trial membership lasts, maybe, or
I'm fine with like the shorter the better. You know, I'm okay with that. If you're fine with non-consecutive,
yeah, I think
That's
it
cumulative?
doesn't have to be consecutive.
so what, 3 months cumulative.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tim?
That's it. Short
Yeah, 3 months as a trial member, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I mean, then within those months you can really see if someone is a good fit, right?
but we're saying cumulative. So meaning like, let's say they come 1 year, they come 1 month, the next year they come another month,
Oh, like that.
and it's here. But or like in the same year they kind of do a few trips here and
Yeah,
there.
I mean, you can, yeah, you can try it like that. Why not? I mean, if people
Yeah, you
only
want to
have
define
1
it
month,
already?
if people only have 1 month of holiday and they want to come visit every year, why would we refuse that?
Yeah, and it doesn't block them from buying anyways.
That's right. Yeah, that's the main point that I guess I
That's,
was
that's,
thinking.
that's separate, right?
Right, because it's an attribute, not a membership state.
Well, I mean, how do we deal with that actually? Because if someone wants to buy in without staying there up front, they can just buy in, right?
Yeah, they can buy in, but they're not gonna have voting decisions until
Yeah, the first few months, you mean?
they need just
Yeah.
like they just need like to reside 3 months and then they get voting. It's almost like a little
country.
Yeah,
So this, would you agree with this then?
Let's see.
Can buy land. Yeah, okay. Exactly. Well, it's not that we want that to happen. It's more like we can't prevent it, basically, I
Yeah.
think is the.
Well, you could say we don't sell to you. You can prevent
Well,
it.
not,
For example, for
we
an
can't.
exited member, maybe if they're forced to leave the membership, you can say, no, we're not going to sell to you. But if you want to keep
Well,
that open and variable, you can just say yes here. and
only
decide
the
when each case.
only the seller can choose that, and we don't own everything. So we have multiple owners. So everyone that's an owner can decide who they want to sell to, and we can't do anything about it,
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
Turns out.
Okay.
No,
understand.
why
Yeah, then-
do you
then
require power of attorneys? And in the contract of power of attorney will
Well-
specify that.
Oh, okay. Maybe there's a way to do something, and it could be notarized if we manage to notarize something where it's like, well, it requires approval of every owner or something like that. Then we could do it, but right now it's not. So now we need everybody to agree to do that, and it's most likely going to be no because they don't want to restrict who they potentially want to sell to. So maybe a new project can do that, but right now that's not how it is. We have a new member. Are you a member?
Do you like that too?
Yeah.
You never applied.
It was inherited. We can put
then-
that.
Yeah, actually, yes. Maybe it's a good idea to mention this somehow. So maybe she's.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
we do have
from-
it.
Some other people that inherited also, but I think that's still kind of an attribute of an ownership, like
Mm,
when she grows older, she can apply maybe.
mhm.
I don't know if we want to give necessarily the membership with inheritance.
Yeah, you could say here, for example, can hold roles. Yes, any ones older than 18. I don't know. And the same with can propose things, can vote if you want. You can add that. You can think about it. You can think about this. And yeah, I need to jump to another meeting very
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
So
That's
I would just leave you off with this thing, and I think that's a pretty good work already. It's a good summary of what you want, what you imagine, what already exists. You need to fill out this here, obligations for each state. So what are the participation expectations, contribution requirements, meeting attendance, work contributions for each state. Here's also the external missing. Also here, I think, no, I added it, good. So yeah, this you would need to fill out, and you can fill out this as well. So the transitions. So you said you want to talk about this. You want to define how to become from a full, like transition from full member to an exited member. You don't need to go into details and already describe here what the exit path is. This would be like something external. You can separately define that in another step, but you can say through an exit path, the full member can be exited. That's already enough, I guess.
Okay,
And you
so
can mention here
define
also exit path needs to be defined. Yeah.
We can define the details somewhere else.
Exactly. You can refer to other things, to other decisions. You don't need to go in rabbit holes and figure everything out. But you can make a summary of like, follows an exit path will be defined later, or see exit path definition in document blah blah. You can refer to other things if they exist already, or refer to it that you will do it in the future. Need to be discussed. Something like this. And apart from this, I think this would be pretty good already. And you could do the same for the role explicitness again. So you create just the table if you want to follow this template. So you say proposal, like a finished thing that you could present to everyone. So how would you write it down in a very official document? Like, this is what this means, why I created this. and you could do the same here. You can work over this table. You said you wanted to have the members outside as not as a role, but as an attribute. Then you copy the rest into the official thing. And yeah, next time, hopefully more people will join and we can try to make a decision actually about these two proposals. What do you think, guys?
Right. Well, I think we can, yeah, once we're ready to make the final proposal, maybe we email everyone and see what happens then.
Yeah, or inform them that you will make a decision about these two proposals and that hopefully everyone will join.
Oh, okay.
And then inform them about the decisions, because you want to get forward. If you want to ask everyone for their opinion, then you will not get forward with anything, probably.
I don't like that either. I mean, we've sent out multiple emails, and then you get like maybe 5 reactions out of the 35.
Exactly.
I could join and read.
I would be transparent, but not too inclusive for everyone. I mean,
Okay,
if
fair
someone
enough.
wants to join, they should be free, and if not, then not. Yeah.
We have given a lot of
That's my recommendation.
opportunities to join in, but
Exactly.
not
It's
much
important to
response.
get forward.
For sure.
Read.
All right. Well,
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining.
Great work.
Tim, you have
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Good work,
thanks for
guys.
your help.
You're welcome.
And yeah, we keep in contact, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do it
Yes,
again next
absolutely.
week. Maybe we even do another separate meeting or something. Let's see. Work group for defining these membership states.
Nick and Boris, can we just stay in this thing or talk on the phone for a bit?
Or do you want to do a separate call?
Yeah, let's do separate because this is a recording, right?
Yeah, I can stop it as well.
Yeah, okay, let's do separate.
One thing I forgot to say. Absolutely yes to if you want to create groups to talk about these things that are missing and create the final proposals. That's absolutely yes. And if you, just in case, if you want to, you could already look into the document. Here I created a new tab for the next thing. So this would be here. I marked it here. It would be explicit invariance. You can look into it. If you want, you can already try to create a proposal for this. If not, it's absolutely fine as well. You can just read this this tab if you feel like it. So it's all about invariants, what they are, why they matter, whatever needs to change, guidance on how to define them, different standpoints that you can exclude. It looks like a lot, but actually at the end it's only about this last table. This one. This is the end result, basically. And all the other tables, they're for different perspectives. So you can fill these out, and at the end you go into each of these tables and you summarize them here. So this would be the idea. That's all I wanted to say. So, okay. Just if you feel like you have time and you want to proceed with it, here is something. That's what I wanted to give you.
Nice.
Okay.
Moving things along, yeah, once we do the first step.
Perfect.
Good.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, but the other things are more important. So do these first, only if you feel like, okay, we have now, we're fully done with the membership states and with the roles proposals, and we want to present them next time. Then you can look into the invariants. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Now I said everything. Now I will leave you alone and I let you have the
Have a good meeting.
next call. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, enjoy
Bye-bye.
your day. See ya.
Thank you. You too, guys. Ciao.
Bye.